Today, we're going to be talking about what it takes to get into creating the mindset of a winner. And I'm going to go over specifically the 5 different pieces that you need in order to create the mindset of a winner. And we're going to talk about 2 of the greatest athletes, some of the most cutthroat, hardcore winners that I've ever seen. And we're going to talk about Kobe Bryant. We're going to talk about Michael Jordan today. And this isn't just the 2 of them. This translates, I think, to a lot of extremely high performers, whether that happens to be in athletes. There's a lot of hardcore athletes that have these exact same 5 pieces. But also I see these exact same pieces in many different ways in some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world as well. So we're going to talk about the 5 differences between a mindset of a winner and just the average person. And at the end, I'm also going to teach you how to use the chemicals inside of your brain to make you work harder for what you want and to make you more of a winner. So the 5 pieces to having the mindset of an absolute winner. The first thing that I have found with people who are just crazy winners in life, number 1 is that they are absolutely obsessed, like legitimately obsessed. One of the very first books that I ever read was called The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle by Jim Rohn. He says when you figure out what it is that you want in life, it has to become your magnificent obsession. When you look at someone like Michael Jordan, winning every single game. It wasn't winning a championship that was his obsession. It was winning every single game, and in turn, won a lot of championships because of it. Kobe Bryant, the exact same thing. Just hardcore, had to win every single game, had to win every single play. There was an interview that I was watching with Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about his hard work and how obsessed he was with playing the game of basketball. And he said, I just never wanted to say after I retired that I wish I could have done more. And how many people out there get to the end of their lives and just wish they could have done more, wish they would have achieved more, wish they would have impacted more people's lives, wish they would have just brought more of themselves out to the world. And their whole life has been built around how they can become better. The second thing is they don't see any other option except for winning. They don't see any other option. Michael Jordan said, I never lost, I just ran out of time. The winners don't see any other option. They're going to win. That's all that it is. For me, when I want something now, there is no other option. I will always get what I want. I might not get it right away, but I will eventually get what I want. If I want to grow a multi-million-dollar business, I'll grow a multi-million-dollar business, and I won't give up until I get it. That's the difference, is that a lot of people who are winners, they make it their magnificent obsession, they become obsessed with it, and they don't see any other option. They're just going to get it no matter what. And they're on this road for as long as it takes to get it. Even if it's to the last day that they're alive, they're going to be pushing through. People who are on, I guess this, you could say the quote unquote loser side, is they start going for something, they're excited about it, and then they get a little bit of, I guess you could say, they get a little bit of, roadblocks. And those roadblocks start to make them think that, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is the wrong path. Maybe I'm not the right person for this. Maybe I'm not qualified yet. Maybe I should work harder and then try this again. Winners don't see any other option. They will get what it is that they want. So my question to you is, which mindset do you have? Is it, I hope I don't, or I hope this doesn't happen, or I'm going to make it happen? So number 2 is winners don't see any other option except for winning. Number 3, winners know that they're going to mess up. They understand that messing up is part of the process. No matter how many times they mess up, their mindset never wavers. This is the biggest point. If you think about this, they can miss the game-winning shot tonight, and they'll still want to take the last shot tomorrow. Why? Because they know that they just missed a shot. They're going to miss tons of shots. It's like that famous Michael Jordan quote. He says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over and over again in my life. And that's why I succeed. They know they're going to mess up. They know they're going to miss shots. But no matter what, they will not let their mindset waver, no matter how many shots they miss. If they have a terrible night tonight, it's not going to mess with their night tomorrow, right? They know they won't be perfect, but that won't change their mindset about themselves. Do you want to know why? Because they know they've put in more work than anybody else, so nobody else is more qualified to take that shot than them. Messing up is part of the process. And if you mess up, your mindset should never waver. You're going to get whatever it is, no matter how long it takes. That's what the mindset needs to be around whatever it is that you want to succeed. What is it that you want to succeed at? That's number 3. Number 4 is they surround themselves with winners. A lot of people don't know this or didn't know this until Kobe Bryant died and Michael Jordan started speaking about it, but Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant talk about this. If you go back and look at some of their interviews, I looked at a lot of different interviews as I was researching through this. Michael Jordan considered Kobe Bryant his little brother, and Kobe Bryant considered Michael Jordan his older brother. Kobe Bryant had something called GOAT Mountain. GOAT stands for greatest of all time. So he had something called GOAT Mountain, and those are the people that he considered the greatest of all time to play basketball. And he goes through and he lists them. He says Michael Jordan was on it, Magic Johnson was on it, Larry Bird was on it, Oscar Robinson, Dr. J, a few other people. And he only surrounded himself with those people. And the person who was interviewing him asked him, well, did some of your relationships waver as you joined the NBA because you started to hang out with, these other people a lot more than you hanged out with everybody else? And he said, yeah, they did. But the people who knew me and the people who loved me knew that this was my obsession, and becoming the greatest that's ever played it was my obsession. And if they loved me enough, they should love me enough to be able to go off and pursue this for as long as I need to make the greatest version of myself that I possibly can. So they surrounded themselves with winners, and anybody else who didn't seem like a winner was automatically outside of their circle. So if you think about that, whatever it is that you're trying to win at, whether it's sports, whether it's painting, whether it's your music, whether it's, your profession, becoming an entrepreneur, are you surrounding yourself with people who are winners, the people who have the exact same mindset of you, of I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do in order to get where I need to go? Or is it like, oh, my mindset's wavering and, I'm doing this one day and then the next week I've started this other business and then 2 weeks later I've started another business? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Because if the greatest of all time are hanging out with other people that could be in the contention for the greatest of all time, shouldn't you start thinking about the people that you surround yourself with, and if they're fostering your growth and trying to make you better, or if they're trying to, not even on purpose, just kind of keep you in the exact same spot that you're in? So they surround themselves with people who are absolute winners. And number 5, they have hardcore self-discipline. Now, I told you I was going to teach you a trick about your brain and the chemicals inside of your brain, how to use those chemicals inside of your brain to make you work harder and to get what you want. This is that point. Have you ever heard the phrase, it's about the journey, it's not about the destination? I'm sure you have, right? It's a, corny cliche, right? But cliches are usually cliches because they're true. And it is true. It is about the journey, not the destination. And let me explain why that is. So inside of your brain, here's the trick. There's a chemical called dopamine. And dopamine is the chemical inside of your brain that makes you feel good. The problem with this is that if you don't understand how this works, your dopamine systems can be hijacked by anything else that's around you. Facebook and Instagram, all social media, they hijack your dopamine reward systems. Gambling, if you go into any casino in the world, they are made to hijack your dopamine reward systems. So dopamine is called the chemical of motivation, the chemical that makes you focus on the external world. So serotonin, people always get serotonin and dopamine mixed. Serotonin is the internal one that makes you feel pretty good, makes you feel pretty happy about what you do have. Dopamine is the one that makes you motivated to go out and get more. Most people, here's the secret, they only want to achieve a goal, say winning a championship or becoming a millionaire, and they're not happy until they get that goal. And that means what they're doing is they're actually delaying the process of actually delaying the dopamine release inside of their brain. And if you think about it, if I'm not happy until I hit the goal of X, then I'm delaying myself from ever getting the dopamine that I want to until I get to my goal of X, winning the championship, becoming a millionaire, whatever it is. But dopamine is the chemical of motivation. So why would I wait until the end of the time where I actually achieve that goal before I allow myself to get that dopamine? Wouldn't I want it to be during the process? If it's the chemical of motivation, wouldn't I want dopamine to be released multiple times every single day throughout the time that I'm trying to get to that goal? Yes. So instead of celebrating the championship or becoming a millionaire, what you do is you celebrate the process of hitting whatever habits or routines that you need to in order to get you to that place. So you can win a championship, but you still know that waking up at 4 a.m. the next day to practice is the thing that makes you the most excited because you're working at becoming who you want to be. And a big part of this that I think a lot of people miss is positive self-talk. Very rarely, actually, I don't even know if I can think of one person who is one of the greatest athletes ever that wasn't really good at talking to themselves. And when you talk really good to yourself, what happens? Your brain releases a little bit of dopamine because it's like saying, hey, you did good. We're doing good. We're on the right path. You showed up at 4 a.m. You're here. You did what you're supposed to. You took 1,000 shots. You did what you're supposed to. You were at the office at 5 a.m. before anybody was, before the sun even came up. It's that little bit of dopamine that you need to get you, I don't want to say addicted to the process, but kind of addicted to the process, which then makes it more likely that you are going to achieve the end result.